Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode, we review Beast Wars number 14 in comics. Dr. Pants updates Nerdstrodamus Beast Wars show intro cover for Canada, and Darryl learns he's not alone in his dislike of the classic Beast Wars cartoon. But he's still wrong. Today is Friday, April 8th, 2022, and this is episode 280 of Transmissions Alt Mode. Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that's choking on its own rage. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
Good to know I'm not the only one with anger issues. Hello, everyone.
And Darryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
I was going to make a penis joke, but let's just talk Transformers.
Wow. Okay.
But I didn't make a penis joke.
You must be very proud.
I think you guys should be proud of me because I didn't do it.
Epic self-restraint.
Just don't keep saying penis while I'm trying to take a drink.
Phallus.
As always, we start the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you for putting up with our juvenile humor. We really appreciate you supporting the show.
I just broke out a real scientific word right there. Come on.
Your support helps keep the show going, and we really appreciate it. This week, you did get the bonus uncut version of our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. Episode 73 came out this week, the uncut version, exclusive for Donatreons. But next week, next Monday, April 11th, the episode will hit the main Empire of Rust feed. So everyone will have access to it then. That will be the fully produced episode after it's fully edited. But that will be Empire of Rust episode 73, Attack of the Mini-Clones. And that will be on the free feed Monday, April 11th, transmissionspodcast.com/rust. Also, I mentioned it in the toy show, but also mentioned here, I was on All Things Transformers, the GeekCast radio network Transformers podcast. This was the origins of Big C. So the origins of my Transformers fandom. Sat down with TFG1 Mike for a big, long interview, and it was fun. And thanks to TFG1 Mike for having me on. Similar to what Darryl did in the Cybertronian Beast a couple of weeks ago. So you can, if you haven't heard that one yet, go back and listen to that. Those are both on the All Things Transformers podcast on the GeekCast radio network, and that's at geekcastradio.com. So let's start the show with some comics news. So we've got, in comics, we've just got some cover artwork for upcoming covers. So first we've got War's End, issue number 3, and these cover A is by Sebastian Perez, and the retail incentive cover is by Joanna LaFuente. So Joanna LaFuente has been a long time Transformers comics colorist, and she's been taking a break from Transformers for a little while, but nice to see her come back for doing a cool cover. So Sebastian Perez's cover is Megatron rallying the Seekers, and you see Megatron in the foreground pointing and all the Seekers flying ahead. And then Joanna LaFuente's cover is looks like Deathsaurus, which is really Ex-Archon attacking Devastator. So both really cool images. We've also got covers for Last Bot Standing, issue number 1. These are covers B, C, and D. Cover B is by Alex Milne. Cover C is by Gavin Spence, and cover D is by Phil Knott. And this will be out May 11th, so check out these images. In particular, Alex Milne's always a stickler for details. You can see the awesome detail in that cover. You've got the last bot shrouded in the cloak, walking in the foreground. In the background, all the bots' images are embedded in the rock faces as he walks forward. So it's a really cool image there.
There was a really funny exchange on Twitter yesterday where Alex posted the completed colored work for this, the inks, and then the pencils. And Nick Roach actually quoted the tweet and said that he really wish Alex made an effort for this cover instead of phoning it in. He said, "Sad to see your favorites get so complacent." And it was very quite funny because they just divulged into just shit, and it was funny. It was just they just giving each other shit, and it's nice to see the artists kind of getting in and kind of bagging on each other. Mm-hmm. A very nice, very funny kind of exchange between all the creatives here.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see, just looking at the cover and how you can see how clearly that's sarcasm, because just the immense amount of detail in this cover is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Our friend from last week, John Paul Bove, chimed in and said his work on the last annual almost drove me to madness.
I imagine having to add color to such detail is not the easiest thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I'll post the tweet in the chat so everyone can see it, and maybe we can add it to the show notes.
Show notes, cool. All right, well, that's all the comics news for this week, and so we're going to move on to our comic review. Of course, but first we've got something very special before we get into the comic review, because we are doing Beast Wars. As Dr. Pants is here, so we are doing a Beast Wars comic, and for March Madness, I believe Nerdstrodamus, of which Dr. Pants is a part, did a cover of the Beast Wars theme, but you did the American version of the Beast Wars theme, right?
We did, because I didn't originally know there were any other versions. But thanks to being on this podcast and it being multinational and so many people around the world correcting me, we had to fix that and support other people too. So, yeah, there's another version of the cover.
This is your love letter to Canada, the Canadian version of the Beast Wars theme, which, of course, in Canada, because war is very bad, and you don't want to tell the kiddies about war. You got to change the name to Beasties. Do we have a clip?
Yes. I imagine that electric guitar, if you know how to play guitar, that's just a really fun riff to do.
My co-host Lambo said he had a lot of fun doing that one, so.
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort.
No problem.
And the video, when you give us the YouTube link for that, the video is great.
Yeah, we'll make sure that goes in the show notes, because all our Canadian friends, we did it for you. We did it for you.
All right. Well, this Beast Wars review is for you, Dr. Pants. So let's get into it. And we're reviewing Beast Wars number 14, Primal Rage. Written by Eric Burnham, art by Josh Burcham, letters by Jake M. Wood, assistant editor Riley Farmer, editor Jasmine Joyner, and supervising editor David Marriott. We've got 3 covers. Cover A is a Polar Claw, and he has Optimus Primal in a bear hug as the Vok oversee this exchange, and that is by Winston Chan, friend of the show, Winston Chan. Cover B is the Maximals are driving Optimus Primal crazy. He's got that rage, and that is art by Brenda Chi. And then the retailer incentive cover is Megatron has Optimus Primal in his sights at point blank range, and that is by Camila Fortuna. So, Dr. Pants, which of these 3 covers would you like to put your vote on?
Well, I'm going to throw it out there and just say I appreciate cover B for trying to kind of mimic the interior art that Josh Bertram does. It's pretty cool. But cover A is really, really good. It's what's going on in the book. Winston does amazing work, and I always gotta give credit to Winston. I think he does a really good job with detail, especially like the fur and hair on the beast modes. So this looks really, really well done. And it's got Polar Claw on it. Polar Claw hasn't been in stuff before, and he's on the cover of a comic book now. And he deserves it. Plus the like cool Vok just in the background, like kind of in the background, but then reaching into the foreground over top of Polar Claw. It looks really, really good. So cover A, that's my pick.
Cool. Darryl, which cover are you going with?
Well, if you were watching on the toy show and trips to the store, I showed off that I have cover B for this. And this will be a rare one where I actually pick a different cover than the one I bought, because the cover I actually did want to get was cover A, the Winston Chan cover, and that is what my pick is going to be. I did not get it from my store, and I really was hoping to be able to get it. But I really do like Winston's art, and I was a little saddened that I wasn't able to get it from my store. So cover A is my choice. Winston for the win.
And Jeremy, which one are you picking?
I like both A and B a lot. I got A, so I guess that'll be what I choose. But cover B has a lot of fun of the Beast Wars series with like the spinning Megatron heads, like after Optimus is enraged. So I really like that too. But I got cover A.
All right. Well, I am going to make it unanimous. I will also pick cover A. Yeah, I definitely think this is a cool image. It conveys exactly what's going on in the book, and the detail on Polar Claw and Optimus Primal looks really nice. And I agree about the fur on the Maximals in their beast modes. They're in robot mode, but the beast mode kibble around in their robot modes looks really cool. And I really like the Vok thing in the background. It's a nice little something that doesn't draw your eye, but if you look, you can see that and see how the Vok is pulling the strings. So that's cool. I do think cover B is fun, though. I think that's a cute and fun image. I like that. Also, the retail incentive cover is it's a nice little kind of pin-up poster with Megatron and Optimus Primal. So
it looks like a blacklight poster.
Yeah.
I do kind of dig the colors on that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so cover A all the way. Great job, Winston. Okay, let's get into the story. In the forest, Waspinator and Scorponok are being attacked by some weird land hammerhead badger creatures. The animals are no match for the Predacon's superior weapons, but they don't stop or run away. The animals seem to be in a berserker rage and don't stop until the Predacons put them all down permanently. Scorponok realizes that the nearby cluster of high-energy red energon crystals emitting strange radiation are the cause of the animals' behavior. They take the crystals back to the Predacon base for Tarantulas to analyze. Tarantulas is very excited by their find. The crystal's radiation will increase aggression and anger around bots and animals alike. Curiously, the Predacons do not seem to be affected. Tarantulas is giddy with the potential mischief he can cause with the Maximals, and Megatron has a plan. A few days later, Optimus Primal and Dinobot are in the forest near the Axelon installing new long-range sensor antennae to try and get early warning of future Predacon attacks. But before they can finish setting them up, the Predacons attack. Tarantulas and Black Arachnia appear in the trees in their spider modes, then jump down and transform to bot modes and attack. Optimus Primal is surprised to see the Predacons engage in a fair 2-on-2 fight, and he's right to be suspicious. The fight is a distraction so Tarantulas can attach a bomb to the back of Dinobot's beast mode. The bomb is set and the Predacons quickly retreat. Optimus Primal tries in vain to pull the bomb off of Dinobot's hide, and Dinobot can't transform because then the bomb would be in his chest. Dinobot tells Optimus Primal to get away and save himself, but it's too late. The bomb explodes, the force of the blast knocking Optimus Prime out and drowning both Optimus Primal and Dinobot in the red energon radiation. Sometime later in the Axelon's medbay, Rhinox brings Optimus Primal back online. Rhinox tells him he and Dinobot were attacked by the Predacons, and they both absorbed some strange radiation. Before Rhinox can finish, Optimus Primal sucker punches him in the face. Optimus Primal is in a berserker rage. He rants about how both Rhinox and Dinobot are pathetic and useless, and he's lucky Dinobot didn't get Optimus killed since he's a broken and incompetent warrior. Optimus's rage continues to burn, and he stalks off. As Rhinox and Dinobot recover from Optimus's uncharacteristic assault, Rhinox wonders what the radiation did to Optimus, and why wasn't Dinobot affected. Dinobot tells Rhinox that as a Predacon, Dinobot is in a constant state of rage, and he has extensive experience with managing that emotion. In fact, he wants to murder Rat Trap right now, but the Maximal Vermin continues to function. It looks like Optimus Primal is going to be a problem until he learns to deal with his rage. Optimus continues to angrily prowl the corridors of the Axelon and unleashes his anger on Nyx, Cheetor, and Rat Trap. The other Maximals are surprised and hurt by Optimus Primal's cruel words and his rough treatment of them, but Optimus doesn't notice and continues his tirade. Before Optimus can start pummeling his fellow Maximals, Rhinox comes up and grabs him from behind, restraining him. Dinobot tells Optimus that his anger is misdirected. He's really angry at himself for showing undeserved mercy to Megatron. Dinobot tells Optimus if he wants a real target for his anger, aim it at Megatron. And Optimus agrees. Rhinox lets Optimus go as he storms off out of the Axelon, transforming to beast mode on a rage-induced mission to destroy Megatron. Back in the Predacon's ship, the Dark Side, Megatron is getting increasingly frustrated with all the damage the Maximals did to their ship. Suddenly, Waspinator appears to tell Megatron that one of the Maximals has fallen into a trap and is a sitting duck. Megatron is excited and follows Waspinator out of the base to see for himself. But this was actually a trap. Waspinator leads Megatron into the forest, then turns and blasts him. Megatron realizes too late that this is not Waspinator at all, but another robot in disguise. The bot looks like Waspinator, but doesn't sound like him, and his attack takes Megatron by surprise. The mystery bot delivers an energy blast to Megatron's head, knocking him offline. The Waspinator disguise disappears, and a new bot, Saberback, tells someone over comms that Megatron is down. In the forest, Optimus Primal swings through the trees in gorilla mode, still intent on releasing his rage on Megatron. But then he is surprised by a blast that knocks him from the trees to collapse on the ground. Optimus thinks Megatron somehow managed to attack first, but he's wrong. A talking polar bear appears, telling him he's Polar Claw, and that Optimus Primal must come with him. Optimus refuses and attacks, and Polar Claw is happy to fight back. Optimus is still blinded with rage and thinks this new bot in bear clothing was sent by Megatron. But Polar Claw tells him he has nothing to do with Megatron. There are bigger forces at play on this world beyond the Maximals and the Predacons. Optimus asks how Polar Claw found him if he wasn't sent by Megatron, and Polar Claw transforms to robot mode and tells him he was sent by gods. Then he blasts Optimus with an energy beam from his hand, knocking Primal offline. Polar Claw stands over his quarry and messages someone over comms, telling them that he has Optimus Primal. So both Maximal and Predacon leaders in jeopardy, in peril. And who is the mysterious force that wants to capture them? To be continued. So I thought this was another really strong issue for Beast Wars. I mean, one thing that I thought was really interesting was that you think the story is going to go one way, and then it's like just completely interrupted by these new bots that just appeared out of nowhere. So you think we're getting the story about Optimus Primal going crazy, and what's going to happen when he confronts Megatron or confronts the Predacons at all, and that never happens because we have these new bots, Polar Claw and Saberback. And I think, it's pretty clear that the Vok is controlling them because the Vok, in the last issue, in issue 13, the Vok got access to the locations of all the stasis pods. So it's clear that they manipulated 2 of the pods and got 2 new Transformers, 2 Cybertronians, who are now programmed to do their bidding. So neither Maximal nor Predacon, but completely working for the Vok. So we'll have to see where this goes in the next 3 issues, and that's the end of Beast Wars. I guess with the annual, we got the annual coming up too. But Josh Burcham knocks it out of the park with the art. I think his art style continues to be great with this book. And and all the the dynamic battle scenes with Primal, I thought were really good. And yeah, I think this was a really good issue. So Darryl, was there enough action in this issue for you?
Well, okay, so there's a couple things. One, the question I have is there any kind of security on these pods at all? Because the first arc of this title, the Predacons get access to these things fairly easily, and now the Vok have gotten access to them. Like, who can't get access to these pods?
Well, I mean, Tarantulas had to break into the Axelon, and he didn't even get full control. He got, like, he was able to get one, and he makes a comment that with Black Arachne, he's like, oh, it was successful in getting one pod. He wasn't even sure he could get one. And last issue, I mean, the Vok got all of the information from Cheetor's mind, where he probably has it all because he's a member of the Axelon. So it wasn't really easy. It's just plot easy.
Right. The next part of the book that kind of stuck out to me was after Primal punches Rhinox. Rhinox stands there and in one panel talks to Dinobot, and in this one single panel they suss out that it's radiation from the bomb that has increased Primal's aggression, and that you know, what is it here, and that Dinobot might not have been affected because he was in beast mode. It's such a leap for me to see that these guys have, that it's like, reading it in the as the story went, it was a bomb. It was a bomb that was attached to him. They don't know, how are they supposed to know that it's radiation that's coming from this bomb?
They mentioned when Primal was coming too, that they both absorbed some radiation.
Okay.
So then they're just making the leap from there, but the radiation has already been introduced.
Okay, so the radiation, but I don't see how it's they go to they make the leap from this radiation that has increased Primal's aggression, right? It seems like a big jump for me that they've made this leap.
Well, I mean, in that black panel before Primal comes up, it says energon radiation near the neural processor, but it's atypical.
I mean, it's uncharacteristic for Primal to wake up and sucker punch Rhinox. I think that's where they got the idea that,
right, of
what's
course.
going on with his moves.
And they knew there was radiation near his neural processor, which, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a leap. I kind of see what you're saying, that it goes by really quick and it's like, oh, they just figured this out. But
for me, it seems like a really big leap. So anyway, that's stuck out for me right away. The action in it is fine. There's enough stuff happening to keep the book flowing, pretty fast. I don't know the character of Beast Wars Megatron to know if he would, easily be seduced by Waspinator to come out into the open like that, like so easily. Waspinator seems like, a loser character that he would, Megatron would go anywhere with him by himself. But then again, I don't, the character of Beast Wars Megatron, I don't know. From what I've read in this book, seems like Beast Wars Megatron would be much more, elitist as opposed to, dealing with Waspinator. But, whatever. This is the way that it went. I just, so as far as the new characters that are being introduced here, they're cool. I like Polar Claw. He's a really interesting character. I like his toy. He's got a very cool toy that often has a some yellowing because he's all white. But yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of Josh's art as you are, Charles. But it does lend well to some of the action sequences. So yeah. But as far as the story goes, it definitely moved a little faster than previous books.
All right, Jeremy, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it, and like you said, it's kind of you think it's going to go one direction, and then they just it completely goes in another one. And I bought the whole Energon stuff right off. I figured, that made sense to me, especially because Dinobot was in beast mode, which does kind of prevent the Energon radiation. But going onto the Predacons, I assumed the way they were acting that they were all also affected by the radiation until, it revealed that it was Saberback. And that was a good reveal. I enjoyed it. I wasn't even thinking that Waspinator wasn't talking right. And just seeing the Vok playing their hand and then remembering what happened in issue 13 with them getting the information, everything just kind of clicked and made sense. And I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm not familiar with Saberback. I'm only familiar with Polar Claw from the Sins of the Wreckers book. So it's fun seeing these two characters, and I'm interested to see where it's going to go from here. And I'm just, I really enjoyed the art. I'm a fan of both Josh and Winston's art, and I thought Josh did a great job on this. So this book continues to just be a pleasure to read, and I'm going to be upset when it's over. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think these days with comic books, like, since you've only got 20 pages to tell a story, I think they're like with this where you're trying to emphasize the action, you've got limited space to do the exposition. So I thought they made good use of the space to quickly get the exposition out of the way. And I mean, yeah, that can make it seem a little bit rushed, but also I think they did a good job with that. Like you start at the beginning of the book. I think the implication is not that the Dinobot's beast mode protected him, but that the fact that he's a Predacon means that the Predacons are always more aggressive and angry, so they are better equipped to deal with their rage.
Yeah, I mean, I think it affected both of them, but we know the beast modes help.
Yeah.
So I think it was a combination of that plus he is just more familiar with his rage and has been dealing with it for a while.
Yeah. And that connects to the beginning of the book where Scorponok and Waspinator are like, "Oh, well, we're not affected," and Tarantula's like, "Yeah, you're Predacons because you're all, maybe that says something about how you deal with rage." So, all right, well, Dr. Pants, what did you think of this issue?
Is it any surprise? I loved it. Like every issue of this book, I just there's more and more to love. Now, are some better than the others? Yes. This one in particular, I like a lot because I think there's a lot of little things in here that could be leading somewhere down the road. The monsters that Waspinator and Scorponok fight in the beginning, like these crazy badger, hammerhead, I don't know what the crap they are. It's some kind of fusion of animals, and that could lead us to possibly getting some Fusor characters if there's already animal fusions on the planet. So
interesting.
It might be a good way to get some Fusor characters in here without having to do the whole end of season 1 Energon or whatever, or Transwarp Burst or whatever it was. The whole issue was really, really good. I loved all the action. I love where the story's going, and I like that they're going to deal with the Vok, and that's going to be the overarching story here, and I do enjoy that. When Optimus Primal and Dinobot are outputting sensors, that was an actual thing in one of the episodes. They were actually putting these long-range sensors out there, so that was kind of a cool nod to one of the episodes. They're using the same exact sensors too, so that's a fun little nod. Primal being fueled with rage is sad, but also hilarious at the time, where he's just pretty much bad-mouthing every Maximal, and he's like, I really want to murder Rat Trap, right now. And I get that. I think every Maximal, if they had to pick one, it would be Rat Trap first. What else? The Waspinator luring Megatron out, I don't think is that far-fetched, because if any Predacon is going to be one that Megatron trusts, it's going to be Skuld, Scorponok, or Waspinator. Skuld was helping Megatron, and Waspinator is a scout, so I think it makes sense. Because if Tarantulas tried, or if Pterosaur were still alive and tried, or Black Arachnia tried, I don't think he'd listen to them. Because he knows they're not trustworthy. But Waspinator has been loyal this whole time, so I think it makes sense. I love that it ended up being Saberback, because in Beast Wars Neo, Saberback's whole thing is he is treacherous, he is a liar, and he will disguise himself to manipulate other people. So they did a great job of incorporating that. And also the panel where it's revealed that it's Saberback, there's one panel beforehand where you see energy coming halfway up Waspinator, and it's like him revealing that it's Saberback. You can kind of see like the bottom half is him. It's really cool. It's a nice touch. Polar Claw, awesome. I had the Polar Claw toy as a kid, and it's nice to see that he's in the comics. Also, I like the nice touch that Polar Claw has green eyes like Saberback, and there's that little bit of energy coming off of it. Because Polar Claw's eyes aren't supposed to be green; they're supposed to be red. So I think that's showing that they're being like manipulated by the Vok. And this just makes me really interested to see then what other Beast Wars characters we're going to get, because it says the next issue is the Children of the Vok. I'm hoping we get to see even more, like pods that they hijacked and even more characters. Especially because we got a Beast Wars Neo character and a character who never had any like time in the spotlight at all. So I want to see what they pull out here and who they like give characterizations to. So yeah, I there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. If you're a Beast Wars fan at all, I think you would enjoy this comic as a whole. And this issue is just fun, pretty to look at, and interesting. I'm really excited to see what they do, because we're now really diverging from the path of the show.
And this does call back to an episode of the Beast Wars show. It's episode 10 of season 1, called Guerrilla Warfare, and it's a similar plot where Optimus Primal gets Scorponok gives him a cyber bee. His cyber bee delivers a virus to Optimus Primal, and
that's right,
turns him super angry. So we do have a little bit of that plot taken from there. So that's a nice little callback. All right, well, that is our review of Beast Wars number 14, and we will move on to Transformers media news.
All right, in media news this week, we just got a few things here, and they are a couple things in gaming news. We got news that G1 Ironhide is going to be joining Transformers Forged to Fight. And you can probably already use them. I think he was available on the 31st of March, so you are hearing this, you are probably already able to use him. So that's pretty cool. If you're still playing that game, then I expect you to already know this. The addition of G1 Ironhide may not make you start using or playing the game if you haven't been. The game's been out for a long time, so yeah, that's pretty cool. We got some video game news here, some about the Transformers Beyond Reality game, VR game, and got some new gameplay footage, and that the launch date has been postponed. So it was supposed to be released on March 31st. Well, that day came and went, and the game still isn't out. And just looking here, we haven't got a new release date yet. So they are going to, the company behind it is, let me see here, where are they? And I don't see. Maybe I have on their Twitter account. Maybe it's just, yeah, Transformers VR. That's the only. That's the only thing I have for it. But anyway, they are saying that they will be keeping everyone updated on the release of the game. But they do have this new gameplay footage you can check out. Just going through our show notes there. Lastly, we have a little bit of news regarding some more concept art for Transformers Cyberverse, and these are more concept pieces from show designer Eric Siebenahler, and these are for some more Dinobot stuff. And this is for Dinobot Snarl, and we got Dinosaur Mode, and then we got Volcanicus. And I gotta say, the Volcanicus is pretty awesome. All of these designs in general have all been really fantastic, but the design for Volcanicus is pretty freaking awesome. I really like that. The design of this character. So yeah, very, very cool. And And yeah, to see it here, it appears that Volcanicus, and I don't remember, it's been a long time since I watched it, but does anybody recall, like, it appears that Volcanicus has an alt mode here. Did he transform? I don't think he transformed in the show.
No, I don't believe he did.
Yeah, so that's really neat to see that the combiner of Volcanicus actually could transform into some kind of, dragon thing here. So that's pretty neat.
Oh, the toy did.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Cyberverse toy, I think.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
the big
Cyberverse
one.
Volcanicus toy transformed into a dragon.
Okay.
I don't think the Cyberverse toy. Yeah, he wasn't really a combiner.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, that's cool. Yeah. But I really like these designs. This design by Eric Siebenaler is pretty cool. Yeah. But anyway, that's all I've got for media news this week.
All right, and we will move on to convention news.
All right, just one thing here this week. Tickets for TFCon Toronto are on sale right now. Go to tfcon.ca/tickets and you can order them. This will be July 8th through 10th, 2022. And if you're looking for like the premium weekend pass, that's everything. It's going to be $133 Canadian. Prices go down from there. So just check out tfcon.ca and you can get all the details and order your ticket. Is all we got for convention news.
All right, and we will finish up the show with feedback. Darryl, I'm going to let you take this one since this directly concerns you.
Okay. So yeah, on Twitter this week, I got some support. Somebody came to my back. On Twitter, user Grim Prime wrote to me and said, and I believe there's a spelling mistake right at the start, but so the people who don't understand the people who keep pressuring you to watch Beast Wars. I agree that the show is a visual atrocity. I got through the first 3 or 4 episodes back when they came out and couldn't take it anymore. Why do they care so much if you've seen it or not? Because you don't know what you're missing out on? That's for you to decide. But if I can give you my opinion, you aren't missing anything. Well, thanks, Grim Prime. I believe that we are in agreement. So that is now 2 people in 2 weeks that have come to back my opinion and just say, hey, I don't need to watch this show.
You just exposed Dr. Pants to the red energon radiation.
I mean, I just want to say that, like, I'm pretty sure the only reason we rag on you, Darryl, about seeing is because you are the #1 Beast Force fan on transmissions. Now, it is a bot title.
This is true. Yep.
It is a bot title. So that means that, like, you paid money and you got that title.
Yep.
We just think it's funny, of course, and, well, I speak for all of us, but I mean mostly me. Like, I think it's funny to, like, rag on you that you don't watch the show or like the show, but you're the #1 Beast Wars fan.
Oh, because I like the toys. I love the toys.
Oh, the toys are great. But, and I'm gonna throw some fire right here at this. How dare this person call that show a visual atrocity? It doesn't look great, I'll admit that, but visual atrocity, like it hurts to look at, it's not that bad at all. My God. You can't stand looking at it for 3 episodes? Come on. That's bull crap. It's not that bad.
That's kind of
spicy
in the camp
hot
that I'm
takes
in.
everywhere.
Yeah, I just and also, if all you care about is the visuals, like, then yeah, it's gonna be hard to watch. But Beast Wars, aside from the visuals, great writing, great characters, great music, great design. Like, everything about that show is absolutely well done. The visuals just didn't age well. All right, I'm done.
Need a glass of water, Dr. Pants?
I'm good right now. Sorry. The visual atrocity thing, like, set me off. I was like, what are you talking about?
I think he needs a cigarette. But I mean, I've said it before. I'm in a very much of an agreement with Grim Prime here. As just I can't look at the show. I can't watch it. It's not that it hurts. It's just it's just bad. And and it's that way for me. I can't, I just don't like looking at the show. So, and we don't need to rehash this. We've done it numerous times, but I just want to say thanks to Grim Prime for showing your support, I very much appreciate it. We're best buds now. So there you go.
It's your new favorite listener.
Is this how you collect friends, Darryl? It's just anybody who calls Beast Wars a visual atrocity?
Well, it's a very small group. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the little piece of feedback that I got this week.
It's anyone who agrees with his unpopular opinions become his new best friends. Friendship ended with transmissions. Now Grim Prime is my new best friend.
I'm going to go off and make my own podcast with Grim Prime and Blackjack and hookers.
All right. Thanks, Grim Prime, for sending in your note. And we appreciate you listening. Thank you for continuing to listen. And it's all in good fun. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinions, So
don't
enjoy
take
what
my
you
rage.
want.
Don't take my anger seriously. I like to do the anger bit as part of my own show. Like, you're entitled to your opinion.
Okay, well, that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. As always, we end the show by thanking all our Masterpiece Donatrons because they are the folks who contribute the most to our Patreon at the highest level. We really appreciate their support. They help keep everything running. So thank you again to John 4X11 Good, Dinobot Maximize, Demon Tech 82, and Curtis Akan. And Dr. Pants, thank you again for joining us this week. And why don't you tell everyone where they can find you on the internet?
You can find me and my fellow nerds at the Nerdstrodamus YouTube channel. That is our main output of all our creations. You can also find links to all of our stuff on Nerdstrodamus.com because we're on all the social media. We don't post frequently on some of them, but we are there. You can follow us everywhere. And we mostly do gaming stuff. So if you're not familiar with our work, we do mostly gaming videos. We do stream every Friday. So if you're listening to this on Friday, join us, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can almost guarantee we're playing Pokemon Fire Red, and you can watch me lose my mind for about 2 hours.
All right. And that will do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks, everyone, for listening. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.